If your wood engravings look like this, smoke staining spread all the way around the piece, gray haze soaked into the grain everywhere you didn't want it, a result you can't fix and can't use, you're making at least one of these 5 mistakes. And if it looks like that, you're probably making more than one. This is what it should look like. Same machine, same material, same design. The only difference between these two results is knowing what not to do and then actually doing it. Clean edges, no smoke haze anywhere, a result you're proud to hand someone. I've made every single one of these mistakes myself. Some of them more times than I'd like to admit. And I still see them every single week in the comments from people who genuinely can't figure out why their results look off even when their settings seem right. Today, we're going through all 5 and we're fixing them for good. Let's get into it. Mistake number 1, and this one really stings because you don't see it until the job is completely done and you're pulling it off the bed, is not masking your wood before you engrave. Look at this gray haze spread all the way around the design. That's smoke residue from the burn, and it's not sitting on top of the wood waiting to be wiped off. It is soaked into the grain of the surface. It does not wipe off. You cannot sand it out without taking the engraving with it. There's no product that removes it cleanly. That piece is done. The fix costs almost nothing and adds under 2 minutes to your setup. Painter's tape or transfer tape like I'm using here, laid down flat and smooth before you run the job. No gaps, no bubbles, no lifted edges anywhere. Press it down firmly and run a credit card or a squeegee like I've got across the whole surface to fully seat it against the wood. The laser burns right through the tape like it's not even there and engraves the wood underneath. And the tape catches every bit of smoke fallout on the surface. When you peel it back, and this is the part that never gets old, clean edges every single time. No haze, no residue, nothing. The smoke came off with the tape. I genuinely can't overstate how much this one single change improves every hard edge design, every bold piece of text, every logo you'll ever cut on wood. It should be automatic, non-negotiable every single time. 2 things to get right every single time. Number 1, no bubbles, no lifted edges anywhere. If any part of that tape is not fully seated flat against the wood, smoke gets underneath in that spot and you end up with staining there just like you had no tape at all. Press it down firmly. Work out from the center, run a credit card or a squeegee over the whole surface. Number 2, masking works best on bold designs, text, logos, and hard-edged artwork where the laser is firing at full meaningful power across the entire design and burns through the tape cleanly everywhere. For more detailed photo or portrait work, the relationship between masking and power is more nuanced. But for the vast majority of wood engraving jobs you'll ever run, painter's tape before every single job is the single highest impact habit you can build. I'll link exactly what I use in the description. 90 seconds of setup, there is no job where it's not worth it. Mistake 2 is one that most people genuinely don't know exists until they ruin a project and spend an hour adjusting settings trying to fix something that settings have absolutely nothing to do with. It's grain direction. The direction the laser travels relative to the grain of the wood changes how the final engraving looks. And on fine detail work, portraits, fine text, intricate artwork, the difference is significant and it's immediately visible once you know what you're looking for. Same design, same settings, same machine, same material, literally cut from the same board. This one was engraved running with the grain. Look at the fur detail. The edges are clean and crisp. The texture is holding up exactly as the file intended. This one was engraved running against the grain. The edges are rougher. The burn picks up more of the wood texture in a way that fights the design, and the fine fur detail starts breaking down at the edges. On big bold text or large solid fills, you might not notice the difference at all. But on portrait work, fine lettering, or anything with intricate detail, grain direction is often the difference between a result that looks sharp and intentional and one that just looks off. And you can't figure out why, no matter how many times you adjust your settings. The fix is awareness and one quick test. Before you commit to a full project, especially on something with fine detail, run a small test patch on scrap from the same board and look at how the grain is interacting with your design. Sometimes just rotating the wood 90 degrees on the bed completely solves it. You don't need new settings, you don't need to change anything in the software. Rotate the wood. Run a small test. That's the entire fix, and it costs you nothing and takes only about 30 seconds. Do it every single time detail matters. Mistake 3 is grabbing whatever wood's nearby, whatever's cheapest at the hardware store, whatever scrap is left from a different project, and expecting it to engrave well for any job you want to run. Doesn't work that way. Basswood, pine, MDF, hardwoods like maple and walnut, they all behave completely differently under the laser. And choosing the wrong one for the wrong project, it'll cost you your piece, your time, and your material every single time. Your settings are only half the equation. The wood you put on the bed before you ever touch a setting is the other half. And most people never think about it. Pine is cheap and it's everywhere, but the grain is wildly unpredictable. It creates uneven, blotchy contrast on portrait and photo work, no matter how perfectly dialed in your settings are. That is not a settings problem, that's a wood problem. And no amount of adjusting speed or power fixes it. Basswood has a tight, consistent surface with a very fine grain structure, and it's what I reach for anytime fine detail matters. Look at the same wolf portrait on pine versus basswood at essentially the same settings. The difference is not subtle. MDF engraves with strong dark contrast and is excellent for practice and prototyping, but it off-gases heavily under the laser and the edges are rough. I wouldn't use it for anything I'm selling or giving as a gift. Hardwoods like maple and walnut look absolutely incredible when done right, but they need more power, and the settings window is much less forgiving. Plus, the cost of making a mistake goes up very fast. Match the wood to the job before you ever open the software. Portrait or photo work, basswood, full stop. Don't second guess it. Bold signage or large text where fine detail isn't the priority, pine works fine and saves you money. Something that needs to look premium, something you're selling or giving as a meaningful gift, walnut or maple every time. Practice runs or functional pieces where appearance is secondary, go with MDF. Make this decision first. It saves you material, saves you time, and saves you the frustration of a ruined piece that you spent hours trying to diagnose when the problem was never the machine to begin with. Mistake 4 happens before you ever turn the laser on, and it's the one that most people never correctly identify because they immediately start looking at the machine for answers when the problem is entirely in the file. It's bad file prep. A color image that hasn't been converted to grayscale. A photo with contrast that hasn't been adjusted for how a laser actually reads tonal information. An image where the shadow areas are so dark, the laser just burns them solid. Your settings can be absolutely perfect, and a badly prepped source file will give you a bad result every single time, without exception. And the genuinely frustrating part is that people spend hours adjusting speed and power trying to fix something that was never a settings problem at all. Here's the exact prep workflow I use for every photo or portrait engraving. I use a free browser-based tool called img-r. I'll link to it in the description. You go to imag-r.com, click the upload button, browse for your file and upload it. Once you upload that file, you're going to resize it to the size that you'd like to engrave. I'd like my engraving to be 4 inches wide And I'll crop the height in my xTool software later, but for now, I'll make it 4 inches wide, and I'll change the DPI to 318. Then I'm going to click on Material, I'll click on Norton, and I'll click Norton Wood. I'm going to apply these settings to the image. Now this image might look kind of strange, but your laser is going to read that tonal information properly. So we'll go ahead and download this as a bitmap. And then you're going to import this into xTool Studio. Here's where most people make a very critical mistake. When you import a pre-processed file like this from img-r, you must set your bitmap mode to grayscale, not Jarvis, not any of the other dithering modes. If you let xTool Studio apply its own dithering on top of img-r's processing, you are dithering the image twice and the result will be degraded. Grayscale tells xTool Studio to use the file exactly as it was processed. That's the complete workflow and the difference between a badly prepped file and a properly prepped one on wood. That is the complete workflow, and the difference between a badly prepped file and a properly prepped one on wood is not subtle. 30-second checklist before every photo or portrait job. Have I uploaded my image to img-r, set my size and DPI to 318, and selected Norton Wood as my algorithm? Have I downloaded it as a bitmap, then imported it into xTool Studio, setting the bitmap mode to grayscale, not Jarvis, grayscale? Is my image prepped so that nothing's burning solid in the shadow areas? 3 questions, 30 seconds. Run through that checklist before you press go and you'll save yourself ruined pieces, wasted material, and the full frustrating time cost of having to reset your workspace and run the whole job again from scratch because the file was wrong before the laser ever started moving. Mistake 5. And I know you do this because I still catch myself doing it even now after running a laser for a couple years. It's skipping the test piece. You've got a beautiful piece of basswood on the bed. The design looks exactly right. You've run similar jobs before and you're confident. You just hit go. And then something goes wrong. The image wasn't quite prepped correctly for this specific file. The settings weren't exactly right for this specific board. Something that a 2-minute test on a piece of scrap from the same sheet would have caught and fixed before it ever touched your good material. I filmed this video in one session and burned through more boards than I care to admit, dialing in the right settings and the file prep before I ran the shots that I actually needed. Every single one of those pieces would have been a 2-inch test square if I had been following my own advice. A real test piece doesn't need to be complicated and it doesn't take long. Take a small 2-inch square of scrap cut from the same sheet as your good material, the same sheet specifically, because density and surface character can vary even within the same species, and run the actual design at your exact intended settings. Not a speed and power grid, not a rough approximation, the actual file at the actual settings. Then, evaluate it carefully under good light before you do anything else. Is the contrast what you want? Is the detail rendering the way the file said it would? Is anything unexpected happening at the edges? If anything is off at all, adjust one variable and run another square. The whole process is 2 minutes, maybe 2.5. 2 minutes compared to a full piece of premium wood that costs real money and cannot be replaced. Here's the rule I follow without exception. New wood species, test. No exceptions. New design file I haven't run before, test. Material I haven't touched in a few weeks, test. New settings for any reason, test. The test piece is not wasted time and it's not an admission that you don't know what you're doing. It is literally, genuinely the fastest path to a perfect result every single time. Build it into your workflow like it's non-negotiable from the very first job and watch how quickly the ruined pieces and the wasted material just completely stop happening. So to recap, not masking your wood, ignoring grain direction, using the wrong wood for the job, bad file prep, and skipping the test piece. Those are the 5. Fix those 5 things and your wood engravings will improve immediately. Not after weeks of dialing in settings, not after buying new equipment. Immediately. Starting on your very next piece. Every single one of these mistakes is completely fixable today. If this helped you, hit subscribe. I put out videos specifically to help laser owners stop wasting material and start getting the results they're actually after. And if you want the full breakdown on how to dial in your speed, power, and line interval specifically for wood, I've got a dedicated video on exactly that. It pairs directly with this one. That video is right here. Go make something awesome. I'll see you in the next one.